every Monday, only in the Star, is Far and Star.
(3-6) to 11 points then. Kilkenny lead. It's a 4-point advantage over the Munster champions Waterford at half-time. Change on the Waterford team. They've taken off young Shane O'Sullivan. Jack Kennedy from Ballydufflore comes in his place for the second half. And I'm afraid poor old Shane didn't see too much of that ball in the first half.
Yeah, it can happen. You know, and first time in Croke Park, we're in their big game under pressure, like in Kilkenny half back line and that. Like the Kilkenny backs, even though they're going away soft, are playing very, very well. A lot of talk about Jack Kennedy in Waterford circles. He's a kind of a new prospect, kind of the white kid on the block. They'll be expecting big things for him. But Michael, judging by the minor match, even though there wasn't much of a breeze, whatever little breeze is in it, Kilkenny will have it the second half. Now, Kilkenny have got very few frees. They've missed one, have scored two. They've only got three, whereas Waterford have 9 or 10 frees got. So they'll be at their forwards to drive a bit forward, even to make the Waterford defence commit a few frees, and Henry or DJ knocked them over.
It's a tough couple of weeks for Kilkenny. You know, a match last week and all that. As this game goes on, if Waterford drive at them, they'll test their
now you said it.
Their reserves of energy.
This is the real important point, Michael. It's now, in the last 20 minutes, the tiredness will kick in if Kilkenny are tired. And if Waterford can hang in there, close the gap a bit more, and be there for 15 or 20 minutes to go, they have a great chance. But Ken McGrath, Tony Brown, Owen Kelly, Dan Shannon, they've got to step up to the plate now if Waterford are going to win this day. They have done very little so far. The game isn't gone beyond them. It's still there for the taking. Now is the time that they just must do it.
Let's see if they can. Back again to Tomas and to Marty.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, now is the hour indeed for Waterford. An attendance of 51,263 here in Croke Park, witnessing Waterford bid for that final place and try and beat Kilkenny in this semi-final. Substitution confirmed. Jack Kennedy is on at left half forward. Jack Kennedy, and the player that went off is Shane O'Sullivan. Kilkenny dominant around half back line and midfield. Going forward, Derek Lane. John Hoyne is claiming that he didn't pick the ball off the ground, but Aidan Maksivna, the referee, seems to be in a good position, so it's going to be a free out for Waterford. Ken McGrath, the captain and leader of this Waterford side, dropping it right in. Can there be a touch? There is a touch, but the referee has blown his whistle for a square ball infringement. Player inside the small rectangle, so it's going to be a free out for James McGarry and Kilkenny. I'm sure Justin McCarthy and Shamie Hannon and the boys gave Waterford a rather passionate pep talk at half-time.
Probably. You wouldn't like to be inside in that dressing room, I'd say, Marty. But, I mean, it's important now that they take the game to Kilkenny, get a few scores on the board early on and get the crowd behind them. There's a huge, huge Waterford support there. I'm sure if they get a few scores, they'll lift the team even further.
Let's see if Waterford can deprive Kilkenny of further glory and a chance to go for that 3 in a row. Owen Kelly, some high challenges going in. Great stamina. Good skill. Can he score? He can't. He's the only one, apart from Paul Flynn, that has scored. The other 4 forwards have failed so far. As Owen Kelly came in, there was a high challenge here, and he did very well. He got inside James Ryle, took on the other defender, but unfortunately the finish not up to what he wanted. James McGarry's puck out is aimed for DJ Carey, picked up by Ken McGrath. And Waterford have always been able to produce a very good second half performance. Linesman Sean McMahon from Newmarket and Fergus in County Clare, well-known referee, has indicated that this is going to be a sideline ball for Waterford. Going to take it is Dave Bennett. Won senior county championships with his club Lismore in the early 90s. This is his real first season of establishing himself. Played half forward with UCC in the past. Tommy Walsh had his hand on it, but the ball is dropped. Comes back as Waterford go in pursuit of more scores, and it's sent over the bar. This time by Jack Kennedy from Ballydufflore. Came on in the championship games, most of them so far. Very close to starting today.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of talk about this guy that maybe he should have been off from the start. But that's the only way to answer people if you should have been in or not. No, put the ball over the bar, and that will boost his confidence to no end.
The battle of the champions in Croke Park. Long ball, James Murray. Again, that full back line looked a little bit dodgy at times. Owen Murphy coming across. Under pressure from Henry Shefflin. Still Owen Murphy. Referee has blown his whistle. And the referee claiming that Owen Murphy had held the ball beyond the allowed limit.
Sidney caught the ball 3 times, Martin, and it's a free in for Kilkenny.
So it's going to be a free in for Henry Shefflin. Score of 2 goals and a point in the opening half. Difficult enough angle for most players. Not difficult for Henry Shefflin. Back to 4 points with 4 minutes played in the second half. Straight over far is Michael Walsh, Footballer of the Year in Waterford last year. Laying it off inside towards Jack Kennedy. This is Owen McGrath dropping this one in. Is there a connection? It's loose. James McGarry happy to just drive it anywhere. Pulls it. Not going to reach the sideline. And back there is Derek Lake. Dropping ball picked up by John Hoyne. Gets inside Ken McGrath. Available this side is Martin Comerford. And this is just sneaking inside the post for his 3rd point of the match. Before he goes back to taking up residence at full forward, Comerford doing very well. Ball laid off here and a very good score. Down here in front of the Hogan stand, 2 Waterford players collided. And Jack Kennedy and Dan Shanahan just getting some attention here. Both of them are okay.
Dave Bennett as well, Marty.
Dave Bennett as well, yeah. Owen Kelly is now operating as full forward. Dan Shanahan is moved out to wing forward, the way he started the game. Meanwhile, it's Kilkenny and Eddie Brennan enjoying the little bit of freedom out in the half-forward line. Laying it in far as Martin Comerford. This hit onto his left-hand side and sends it wide. 8th wide of the game for Kilkenny. Captain from the county champions of O'Loughlin Gales. Ian O'Regan's puck out, dropping inside the Kilkenny half of the field. But again, they're continuing to dominate in key positions.
Yes, I mean, Waterford getting very little return out of the half-hour line, Marty, and they're driving, Kilkenny are driving them forward. Peter Barry, JJ Delaney, and winning frees, and this is like in DJ's position here. I mean, to get the frees, and if they score them, they're punishing Waterford all the time.
Last year's All-Ireland winning captain. Didn't quite connect at all for DJ. And good block down by Ken McGrath off John Hoyne. Martin Comerford battling hard. Has it eventually. Lays it off to Henry Shefflin. And it's Shefflin in front of the Hogan stand. Sweeping it across the face of the goal and wide. 9 wides for Kilkenny. Wonderful defending here, however, by Ken McGrath. Bravely going down on John Hoyne's hurl. Fantastic catch by JJ Delaney. He's giving several inches to big Dan Shanahan there at wing forward. James Chaff Fitzpatrick. Out to DJ. Ken McGrath comes along and says hello. So too does Tony Brown. But DJ battles continuously and then flicks it with his left. And Ian O'Regan is happy to concede a 65. Ian O'Regan is claiming the ball was gone out over the end line.
Yes, it'll be
the
interesting
umpire
to
is
see it
adamant.
again, Marty, because he looked as if he was letting the ball go wide and just had the last touch in it again.
Here's DJ, who battled so hard to try and retain possession.
Certainly it's a close one, you know, and didn't think it was actually gone wide at that stage, Marty. He got his touch with, so it's a 65.
DJ Carey on the 65. First 65 of the match for Kilkenny. Scored twice already. One from play, one from a free. This one connects a lot better, but unfortunately it's off target. Waterford remain in contention. 3-8 to 12 points. 5 points between the teams. As Aidan McSivna again spots a little incident off the ball, this time involving Tony Brown and DJ Carey. And you see McSivna knows exactly what was going on. Again, Owen Kelly and Dan Shanahan battle it away. Comes back fires Tony Brown. Dave Bennett come forward to right half forward now. Bennett sends it to the left and wide for Waterford's 4th wide of the match. And their 2nd in the second half. Waterford continued to try and regroup their team. Brian Cody's men so dominant. Jack Kennedy is now at full forward. Owen Kelly now seems to be gone out midfield.
Yeah, but Dan Shanahan is trying to move into the full forward position as well, Marty, but JJ Delaney is not letting him out of his sight. I mean, he's doing a man-marking job there.
Ball is loose. Plenty of Kilkenny jerseys there. One of them is John Hoyne. Did well to just get it out. Ball sent in by Ken Coogan. Ian O'Regan is out there as well. That too has gone wide. 11 wides for Kilkenny.
And if you were Brian Cody, Marty, you'd have to be worried. I mean, they have the game. They have the game almost won at this stage. Put over another few points and they'll put themselves out of sight. But they're failing to put Waterford away. And we saw the last day against Clare. Do that and you're letting the team into the game within the last 5-10 minutes.
Coming forward here, Peter Barry. Up towards Martin Comerford. Now operating at the edge of the square. James Ryle to his left. Gives it to Barry on his right. Here comes Ken McGrath. His leadership and hurling ability now required. Crossfield ball is a poor one. But Waterford have it, only temporarily. Sent back down the field by Noel Hickey from Dunnamaggin. It's 2 against 2 here. And the ball breaks for Eddie Brennan, whose jersey was pulled by James Murray. And that's going to be a free in, and it could well be a yellow card for the right corner back from Tallow. It's a little ticking, you can see. Aidan just explaining why. His name is in the book. Relatively easy free, I would say, for Mr. Shefflin. Already has scored 2-2. Just slightly to the left of the posts, as you can see. Simple tap over. A little bit more daylight now between Waterford and Kilkenny. Justin McCarthy urging his players, looking for a little bit more. But they're being beaten in so many key areas. Midfield, half-forward line. They are not posing any threat whatsoever to James McGarry. Perhaps this time, Owen McGrath laying it outside to Paul Flynn. And that is over the bar. He continues to provide the greatest scoring potential for Waterford. Owen McGrath back to Flynn. And with a nice, easy shot, sent it over the bar.
And you would feel, Marty, with Paul Flynn being in top form, that other players would rally around him, and certainly that's not the case. I mean, he's been left for a lone battle there in the forward line, and he's the only man really that's contributing from a scoring point of view.
Derek Lane is accused of fouling, but I must say I don't agree with the referee on this one. This should have been a free the other way. There was a jersey pull there.
He's given Ashley Marte his right decision. He's given the pull for, or the free for the pull back in the jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. Referee was correct. The free going to be taken right here in front of us and in front of the eyes of Brian Cody. A chance for Waterford to go back into the attack. Paul Flynn lobs it in, trying to get some sort of creativity from a forward line that's not functioning. Here's Jack Kennedy, lays it across. There's a chance of a goal here, and Michael Walsh sends it over the bar. We now have 3 players that have scored for Waterford. Paul Flynn 11 times, Owen Kelly and Michael Walsh all contributing, as well as Jack Kennedy.
Yes, it was a goal chance though, Marty. I mean, he was ball in his left hand straight in front of the goal, and I mean, if he had got a goal there, the place would have erupted. Now the Waterford crowd are really getting behind their team.
Outplayed and outmaneuvered, but not by any means beaten. The Munster champions are beginning to show their mettle. Remember, they walloped Clare, they beat Tipperary, they beat Cork. They're coming here with very impressive CV. Now they're beginning to hurl. Owen Murphy, as Gerald Mann said at half-time, they haven't relaxed. Now they're beginning to relax. Kilkenny, the All-Ireland champions, facing a crucial period in this second half of this All-Ireland semi-final. Magnificent catch by John Hoyne, flicking it inside. He saw Henry Shefflin, but Waterford have the situation under control. There's a hurley gone flying. There's a shoulder-to-shoulder. It's all part of the game of hurling. James Murray gives it back to his colleague in the full back line, Owen Murphy. Clear down the field, down to Seamus Prendergast. James Riley's there for Kilkenny. In nipping in is Owen McGrath. Mount Sign, brother of the captain, beginning to show his mettle as well. Flicking it in. It's a long ball in pass. Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy onto his left-hand side. Sends it over the bar. Don't go for the sandwiches yet.
No,
this match is by no means over.
No, they're certainly asking the questions, and they've gone to it maybe a 2-man full forward line, and it's a great ball up the field by Owen McGrath. Great catch by Jack Kennedy, and that's his second point in the second half, and what an inspiring substitution that's proven to be.
Battle here in front of us in the Hogan stand. The ball is loose. Back there helping out is Owen Kelly. Another Mount Sign man. Gets by the challenge of DJ Carey. Gets it onto his right hand side. Drives it over for Seamus Prendergast, who leaves Tommy Walsh for dead. There's a player inside. It's Owen McGrath. It's Seamus Prendergast with the slipper glued to the hurley. Goes for the point. And the Munster champions are on a roll. But the referee has blown his whistle. He's blown his whistle and he's given a free out. I think he got the ball 3 times, and that's not allowed.
Yes, that's what he's indicating, Marty, that he's given a free out for that. And the Waterford guy is not certainly happy. There's once. There's twice, yeah, and he caught it again. You know, so it was 3 times.
3 times, yes.
Yeah, the referee is correct.
He had to catch it the first time as well, initially. Yeah. So the referee is correct. But Croke Park is beginning to see that the All-Ireland champions are going to face a test. Despite 3 cracking goals in the first half. James McGarry with the free. Waterford now playing with a little bit more confidence. Can they maintain it? Here comes Kilkenny. A chance here. Waterford surrounds the Kilkenny attacker, and that ball is gone wide. 3 points between the teams. Just about 20 minutes left. Puck out comes straight to a Waterford player, luckily enough. This is Seamus Prendergast. He won't do it a second time. Drops this in. It's 2 against 4 here. And one of them is Owen McGrath. Oh, Tommy Walsh. What a beautiful rob. Beautiful hurling by the wing back. Kilkenny still under pressure. Waterford keep it going, but the referee has blown his whistle. He's spotted in a foul. Hard to hear with the crowd here and the level of noise.
I think he's going to give a slap ball, Marty. I think he blew very, very early there when the ball was in between the 2 players. So I think he's going to give a slap ball.
Aidan McSwivna calling for the sliotar. Going to give a throw ball. Owen McGrath again, much more prominent now. Referee watching closely. Kilkenny have it, thanks to the hard work of Ken Coogan. There's a chop down by the Waterford player, and it's a free out for Kilkenny. Paul Flynn is quite annoyed, and for descent, there's an extra 13 metres. Waterford fans and supporters cannot take their eyes off the pitch. They want that All-Ireland final, young and old, here in Croke Park, to see perhaps history in the making. James McGarry will be trying to make his own history as Kilkenny go for 3 in a row. Did the ball hit anybody? The ball doesn't go over the end line, so it doesn't matter. Waterford defence under pressure. 3 Kilkenny players around. Declan Prendergast. Ken McGrath's back there. Keeps it in play just about. Won't come up the first time, but there's a push on the Waterford captain, and that's a free out for Waterford.
Yeah, the last 5-6 minutes, very noticeable. Ken McGrath's come way into the game. Waterford have adopted a plan that Clare had as well, Marty. They were only playing 2 men inside, and we saw what happened to Kilkenny the last day. When they had 2 men inside the inside full forward line, when they started running at the defenders, it caused all sorts of problems, and that's beginning to happen now at this stage.
Tommy Walsh stays as an extra defender, back behind his half-back line, between the half-back line and full-back line. Breaking ball is there off Pete Parry's fingers, and that's sent over the line by Noel Hickey, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Waterford. Sideline ball going to be taken by Dave Bennett. Scorer of 8 points in the championship campaign so far. Plenty of time for Waterford. Paul Flynn with Pete Barry right beside him. Dan Shanahan and Noel Hickey shoulder to shoulder. Dropping this one in to the unmarked Tommy Walsh. Oh, fabulous block down by Paul Flynn. DJ Carey with Flynn. The number 9 is Michael Walsh. Paul Flynn pulls. Referee blows his whistle, and he's going to have a word with Paul Flynn. Owen McGrath is being called as well, but I think it's Paul Flynn. And this goes back to the episode of Descent, I think, as well, a while ago.
Yes, I mean, for all the good that he's done with all the scores and stuff like that, you just cannot go in there and pull in a situation like that. And he's made contact with DJ's legs, and he's got his yellow card now, and he's given the free out to feed to Kilkenny.
Yellow card for Paul Flynn. First yellow card of the day. This is for the pull here that developed in this melee. As we come back to the action, James McGarry. Dropping ball again on the 20-metre line. Goes off the fingers of players, but it comes to Owen Murphy. This half hook comes for Henry Shefflin, and Henry sends it wide. Unlucky 13 for Henry Shefflin. That's the 13th wide for Kilkenny.
And very noticeable, Marty, where Kilkenny were winning out in the first half. There was loads and loads of space. They were keeping the game very wide. In the second half period, there's so many bunching of players around the square, they're around the full forward line, and they're not getting clean possession.
Action areas, 32% in Waterford, 44 around the middle of the field, and 24% in Kilkenny. And that 24% is going to increase because at the moment Waterford are on the attack. But Tommy Walsh intercedes. Comes as far as DJ Carey out around the middle of the pitch. 2 players around him. Lovely skill by Carey. Kicks it forward but loses possession. Tony Brown tries to get a Hurley to it. Knocked back by John Hoyne. Comes as far as Henry Shefflin. Floating it inside. 1 against 2 here. Comes to Waterford. They're beginning to put their shoulders back and begin to breathe the fresh air around Croke Park and play hurling like what we expect from the Munster champions. Brian Phelan from De La Salle from the Waterford City Club. Magnificently caught again as Kilkenny flick it down to the centre, but this time the rhythm is gone as Waterford come forward. Again, passes going astray. It's big Derek Ling around the centre of the pitch, floating it high as Kilkenny are put under pressure. Breaking ball picked up by Owen Kelly as the tempo of the game increases. It's 3 against 3 here. It's the lucky break that counts. And it's James Ryle that comes forward. Left corner back from Greg Ballycallan. Sends it straight past James Fitzpatrick. The marking by Waterford is lax. And Fitzpatrick gets his first point in this All-Ireland semi-final. And thus means that everybody in the full forward line have scored. Brennan a goal. Carey 2 points. Fitzpatrick 1. Oh, fabulous catch again. Waterford continue to keep the pressure on despite being outplayed in key areas. Michael Walsh driving that, however, right and wide, and that is 5 wides for Waterford. Remember, Kilkenny have 13. Waterford are introducing Paul O'Brien, the hero in the match against Tipperary. Owen McGrath is the player that's going to make way. I thought Owen McGrath was more visible in the second half, I have to say.
Well, probably one of the more effective forward there in that second half period. Very quick on the breaking ball, and he was causing a bit of a threat in around the square there. But we saw Paul O'Brien before Marty come around against Tipperary and Parky Queeve and scoring that all-important goal. Very, very good player as well.
Still under 21 and a valuable member of the Tallow Club. There was dangerous play there, and the referee is going to have a word, I think, with Ken McGrath, and he's taken out the book as well.
Be interested to see that again, Marty. I think it's a high ball from the puck, coming from the pocket down top, and
well, Adolf Maxinda immediately blew the whistle, and yes, he is showing a yellow card. So Ken McGrath joins Paul Flynn on the yellow card list, and John Hoyne, meanwhile, gets some medical attention. Let's see it here again. Oh yes, there was a wild pull.
It's a wild pull, and certainly bookable offence. Yep.
Henry Shefflin. 4 points between the teams. Just on the Waterford 45. Hits it with conviction over the bar. 2-4 now for Henry Shefflin. 4 points from frees. Shefflin has been outstanding. 2-8 against Dublin, 2-11 against Galway, 9 points against Clare, the drawn match, 3 against Clare in the replay. He really is the scoring machine on this Kilkenny side. Jack Kennedy, a little bit of pressure. Seamus Prendergast is there. Henry Shefflin on the ground. The ball is loose, kicked away by Shefflin. Coming out this side is Seamus Prendergast. Tommy Walsh in front of Jack Kennedy. Breaking ball, backfires Michael Kavanagh. Sending it straight back down. Good calling by Owen Kelly. Going forward. Hits it with power, and that is well wide. The umpire had decided long before the ball arrived.
Yes, and Marty, like, again, as I said to you, Tommy Walsh being the free man, there's a lot of good work now being done by Waterford out the field and the middle of the park, half back in as well. But again, you're hitting the ball up to a loose man. We saw that time Tommy Walsh going for it. If he didn't get it, Michael Kavanagh was there sweeping up, and very hard to make inroads in and around the goal in a game like this.
You'd have to say that Waterford have to try and penetrate this Kilkenny defence. But with Henry Shefflin on form, every time it goes down to this side of the field, it's dangerous. Ball gone wide. Just about 9 minutes left in this game. 3-11 to 15 points. 5 points the difference. Ian O'Regan taking the puck out quickly. James McGarry yet to make a save in this match, thanks to a very determined and focused defence. Another free for Waterford for a foul on Seamus Prendergast. Going to be taken by Paul Flynn. Scorer of 11 points. 10 in the first half, 1 in the second.
It's probably too far out to go for a goal, Marty.
He's dropping this one in, perhaps deliberately. Paul O'Brien is battling hard. James Ryle is there for Kilkenny. Stalemate in front of the goals. Dan Shanahan coming across the face of the goal. Tommy Walsh, beautiful pickup. Beautiful hurling. You'll just love watching Tommy Walsh, whether you're from Kilkenny or Waterford or wherever. Backfires Owen Kelly. Referee has blown his whistle for a chop down, and it's going to be a free to Waterford. This is the reverse angle. Look at the skill here in front of his goal, under pressure. Wonderful.
Great skill, but I mean, you'd ask the question, why didn't Paul O'Flynn put the ball over the bar? He has got another opportunity to get 2 points, and you're bringing the lead back down again, and there's still plenty of time on the clock, Marty.
Tommy Walsh on the goal line as Paul Flynn connects better with this one and sends it over the bar. He really is the only one that has threatened, apart from Jack Kennedy, who made a valuable contribution so far. Owen Kelly and Michael Walsh, the other scorers. Paul Flynn now with 12 points to his credit. Ken McGrath and John Hoyne pulling hard. John Hoyne losing a boot, but Waterford, more importantly from their perspective, have the slither. Fabulous. He's doing this all day. JJ Delaney, fabulous. Doesn't matter whether his opponent is 6'6" or 5'3". Sideline ball, far side of the field. But JJ Delaney has certainly blossomed over the last few years.